welcome to another Chess.com podcast with me, Mike Quigg, and we're here trying to solve a 2-move mate puzzle today. Now, it took me about 20 minutes to work this puzzle out. I'm not joking. I was pulling my hair out ready to stick this into Fritz to give me the answer, but thankfully at the last second of my patience I worked it out, and I feel so much better for it, so I thought I'd share that with you and force you to stare at this puzzle for a few minutes. If you want to pause the video and give yourself a few minutes looking at this puzzle before I go through the answer, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, here's kind of the spoon-fed analysis I went through. Well, looking at this puzzle, the first thing you kind of notice is that the queen on h4 and the rook on h2 are pinned to the king on h3, and that there's a lovely check that the knight can do by coming to f4. So my analysis kind of kept looking at different moves with this knight to f4. But the king can simply come to g3 and there's no mate in one. So an immediate knight to f4 isn't the answer here. Obviously any kind of splurry of sacrifices aren't any good in either. You've got like the g1 bishop being taken here with check, but you know, f takes g1 queening, and white not only isn't going to mate in the next move, but isn't going to win this game either. And this kind of spurious take is the rook taking on h4, the king takes on h4, but this isn't a mating one. There's plenty of escape squares here for the king. So then I thought I'd worked it out actually, and I looked at this move, queen takes h2, because you know the king takes h2, then you know sure enough rook takes h4, that's mate. But the king doesn't have to take h2. The bishop can take h2, and now that you know the rook take doesn't work. So how can black progress? I also looked at queen f3 by the way, but that's a complete failure. But the reason I looked at the queen to f3, which can be taken here by the g pawn, is because I realised that if we didn't move the queen, then the rook can just take on h1. So you know any kind of temporary moves for the knight coming to kind of d4 and trying to you know come back in or cover squares. You know the queen falls, and then it's no mating one. And it's by trying out different squares to move the queen to that I came up with the solution of queen a8. And I don't know how I didn't see this, because it's quite clear now that black's in Zusfang. There's nothing black can do. An example would be g3 of a move that black could make. Certainly the bishop's trapped, where queen c8 is mate. If the queen came to h5, rook takes h5. There's a few variations here. Queen takes on h8, queen takes on h8. There's no move here that can help black. A rook move would just allow the queen to come back in. So again, this is the second puzzle I've been going through that I found really difficult to solve, these mates in two. So if my game's getting rusty or the puzzles are getting harder, I'd appreciate any feedback, and I look forward to producing another Chess.com podcast next week.